As you may have noticed from the recent influx of Marvel-related movies, games, and the shows and everything else, the Marvel Universe is actually pretty awesome. Now, the Marvel Universe and its various components have been around for quite some time now, in its various forms. Different heroes have emerged, and villains, and all sorts of things have come out, and it's gone through its ups and its downs based on the quality of its art and its writing and the circumstances around the time. Well, it's emerged as a pretty interesting tapestry of heroes and villains and relationships and stuff happening and different, well, powers emerging. And, well, among the most interesting ones, I think, are the Mutants. I will be doing probably quite a few other videos talking about the various aspects of the Marvel Universe that are awesome and I love. Now, for this video, I just want to quickly talk about my top 5 favorite mutants. This isn't based on power level, really, or even, like, top 5 favorite good guys or anything. This is just really the ones I find the most interesting and, you know, fun, I guess, for me. It's not really based on any particular quality. It's just what is interesting to me. Number 5 on my list of top 5 favorite mutants is Quicksilver, who possesses the power of great speed, which makes him actually quite difficult for heroes to fight when he's working for his father, Magneto. He's in the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants at one point. He tries to serve his father well, but unlike his sisters, his father does not treat him so well. And he's a resentful person he's kind of a dick. And because of all of this, he becomes quite a conflicted person. He doesn't want to do bad things, but at various times he feels forced to do these things. He learned well from his father, in a sense, learning to justify bad things in the course of what he thought was good. It kind of makes him an interesting character. And later on, when he loses his powers and then regains them and a bunch of things happen, he becomes time jumping, for one. And he becomes an even more complicated character. And so, he's one of the people I enjoy. Number 4, Wolverine. He's kind of, I think, a little overplayed at this point, but I liked him back in the day, and he was the kind of fun anti-hero who was the rival to Cyclops and sort of the alternate kind of leader, in a way, the unwilling leader who, due to his skill and experience at times, was called upon to direct the others because he knew how. He didn't want to. Didn't really care to, but someone needed to do it at times. Cyclops wasn't always reliable and at one point became evil. But yeah, Wolverine has always been sort of just interesting because of his past and his sort of near invulnerability, but all the complicated stuff he has to go through, and, well, at one point he loses his adamantium skeleton, and he has to more readily fear death. And he becomes more and more interesting, I think, as the time went on, which puts him at 4. Number 3, Black Bolt. He's, I would say, a very interesting and complicated character. Well, to a sense I say complicated because of the circumstances surrounding him. He's not that complicated. He's actually a very stoic and quiet individual. In fact, he must be. If he whispers, he can level cities with the power of his voice. If he shouts, he can potentially destroy whole continents to whole worlds, depending on if he screams. He has a powerful voice beyond normal power. Among his people, the Inhumans, he was destined to be king, but they raised him in a specially built, powerful, soundproof chamber just so that, as a child and young adult, his voice could not destroy their entire civilization. Until he learned silence and stoicism. And the only person he can communicate with through a special sign language is Medusa, his destined companion, more or less. And that puts him at a 3 for being sort of this powerful, stoic individual restraining his power, which costs him sort of his speech, which is quite a sacrifice. But it makes him a powerful king who understands sacrifice and hardship. Number 2 on my list is Scarlet Witch. Son and daughter of Magneto are both on my list. Polaris could have almost made it, but she's in the top 10. Now, Scarlet Witch has the power of Hex, in a sense. She can affect probability, which, if you think about it, is actually pretty scary. The ability to affect probability, you just trip. You just fail. It's scary. And then she has the power of magic on top of that, which, combined with her probability, she can basically make her magic super powerful and successful. And then her magic reaches incredible levels, channeling powers beyond her control at times. And it is she who initiates some of the most powerful changes to the Marvel Universe that occur, where she initiates events at one point where she grants people's truest desires in a different world, where Magneto rules over the mutants, Peter Parker's successful and married, and I think he's normal, and other people are granted things they want, like Wolverine remembers his whole past and comes to terms with it in this sense. And different people get what they want in this new world put together, but it all starts going wrong with Magneto and everything, and then people start remembering, like Wolverine, and they come together and they bring down this world, which turned out worse, where it showed the Scarlet Witch her father's true colors, and she, well, hated him for it. She turned against mutant kind, and, well, she spoke 3 words that changed the Marvel Universe yet again. No more mutants. Thus, depowering 90% of mutant kind with her ultimate act of magic. Number 1, just because of who he is, and even as a little kid, I always loved this guy as a villain. I always thought he was like one of the most interesting characters. Apocalypse. He is the first powerful, incredibly so. He is, well, if you know anything about the X-Men, really, you know about Apocalypse. He's indestructible, pretty much invulnerable, except for the Destined 12 who have the ability to defeat him, and I think the X-Man can do it. But Apocalypse is almost invulnerable. He has schemes to basically take over the world, and in a future timeline, the Age of Apocalypse, he does so, ruling the world with survival of the fittest, engineering mutant kind to a greater power in his age of darkness and tyranny. Of course, he can also be destroyed, but Apocalypse has this incredible power to ancient technology, invincibility, but he's handicapped by his megalomania and insanity. He's lived since the ancient times, before 5000 BC, ruling over empires, manipulating things. He's mad, completely driven insane by his time and his megalomania and power, but his alienation. He looks different. He can never be like normal people. He's mad, and that's what prevents him from taking over the world. He couldn't just go into places Godzilla style and crush everything. It doesn't fit into his megalomania, his desire to be worshipped and rule with an iron fist. He needs to use complicated schemes. He's an arch villain, if you will, driven mad to the point where he must be this complicated thing. And I think that alone makes him worthy of my number 1 spot on most interesting favorite mutants. Other thoughts of the Marvel Universe are to come. Probably my list of top 5 favorite characters is next.